Mongoose Jake here with what's going to be a little bit different kind of review. This is more of a overview from the past now, because most of these blasters from Buzbee's Walking Dead series have come and already are starting to slowly be phased out, as they said at their Toy Fair event earlier this year, that they are going to eventually phase this whole set completely out. So why am I doing this now? Well, I have seen a few people post up that they found, this blaster, that blaster, and didn't know exactly, what it was, how they could tinker with it, what they could get with it, what they expect for it, what expect to pay in the second-hand market. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over and give a quick opinion on each of these to keep this as a group review and keep it fairly short and to the point. And I'm going to say right now, straight off the bat, the main blaster to look for if you're not looking as a collector item, because all of these are intended as collector's items. That's why I finally have the complete set. As you see, I have the Rick shotgun still in the box. That was the last thing that I finally picked up just here recently. I got it for $15, as you can see the Dollar General price tag, and that's where I did find it. It came with the shells and a few darts, which the shells themselves are very worthwhile to find. If you are a Buzbee double shot fan like I am, having the shells is fantastic. These are not performance blasters overall. For instance, Andrea's rifle, not necessarily a performance rifle. The new Predator, the Covert Squad, and the Adventure Force version of the Predator, which I believe was Alpha Rogue, all of those outperform this blaster. The one benefit this has is it's magazine fed, and that is nice. I found it had a little bit of an awkward grip unless your hand was really, really small. And for me personally, I've got it because Buzbee sent me one, and I'm going to keep it as a collector's item. And I'm getting the Rick shotgun as a collector's item only. I have a few double shots. Those are going to be what I use. Don't buy those for performance, buy them for collector's items. Now, Carl's revolver. That one actually hits standard elite performance, a little bit above, but if you were going to buy a Buzbee pistol for performance, they have the Zenith Out, which is a fantastic pistol. Get it. It is a pump action pistol instead of a top prime, but it'll outperform this pistol by far. This one, again, is more for a collector's item. It is comfortable, does have good performance, but the Zenith outperforms it drastically, and these are harder to find already, and some people are charging a major premium because this has turned out to be one of the hardest ones to find. I actually had to go to eBay to find one that was in new condition. Now, Dwight's crossbow. I really wish they'd called it Daryl's, but this has very good performance. It has a small grip though, and has a really, really small stock. It does have your typical Buzbee internals that are shared by the Tactical Storm, the Reaper, the Champion, the Night Attack, the Lightmaster, and now the Revolution, and the Interceptor, Thermal Hunter. It has the same performance as those because it shares identical internals. Has a pull bar top priming. You might as well, except for collector's appeal, or if you just want the crossbow form factor, this is completely cosmetic. If you want the crossbow style look, go for it. It'll take all of the upgrades. It uses a Retaliator style spring, so drop-in springs are available from everywhere, and it responds well to being brassed, and spring upgrades, lock removal, yada yada yada. It would be actually a very good performance blaster. However, Abraham's M16 should be the one if you're looking for a Walking Dead variant or series blaster. This thing is fantastic. I actually want to get myself another couple of them, so if anybody who's a fan of the channel spots one and would like to share it with me, please let me know. I would happily try to get that, because I would like to have a couple of these to do some mods with. This thing is comfortable. It has a big grip. This thing should be the grip that all Buzbee blasters use. Because while I might be a fan of Buzbee, I am not completely blinded with my love for the company. I do note that most of their grips are small. That is definitely not the case with this one. As you can see, here's my extra large size hand. Sometimes I have to wear 2X gloves. That grip is more than adequate and actually quite nice. Good trigger well, a sizable stock that's actually appropriate size for an adult. And that is a very nice big chunky foregrip. And guess where the priming is? Right there, integrated, a nice grip. You're able to grab that either with your hand inside or over the top. This thing is fantastic. And again, it uses the same internals as all the other Buzbe springers. So massive amount of power available on hand with easy, inexpensive modding. And that's the #1 blaster of the series. And this is definitely the form factor that would fit for a great number of modifications and customizations, including, I'd love to get one and do a winter or urban camouflage paint job on this thing. Just tape off the front right here to keep an orange tip, and then just hydro dip the whole back end of it. That would be awesome. I would love to get my hands on one so I could do that, but they're hard to come by. At least in my area of the world, here in the central Midwest, which I live in Kentucky. For anyone who's interested, I'm actually originally from Michigan, near Detroit, the Pontiac, Detroit area, but currently live in Kentucky, and there is no thrifting in my area. So this thing I am on the hunt for big time, because should be regarded as, out of all the blasters that came out of the Buzbe Walking Dead series, this should be regarded as the one to look for. And that's Abraham's M16. But that's kind of my overview of it. I don't want to go too long on this. The series that Buzbe had running with this, it is going to be coming to an end. And of course, for us and the hobby, that just means a few less blasters for us to pick from. But with at least 3 of them not necessarily being more than collector's items, which I'm meaning Rick's shotgun, Andrea's rifle, and Carl's revolver, those are more as collector's items. You could run a loadout with Carl's revolver and Abraham's M16 and do very well. Mod them up, brass the cylinder here, brass the breech on this, upgrade the springs to heavier springs, especially like a 9-kilogram retaliator spring in Abraham's M16. And with a brass breech and the air restrictor removed, you could easily hit this up to the 130, 140, 150 foot per second mark. And you could even, if you wanted to, run with half darts and push that a little further. And maybe you could work out a way to put a actual full sealed breech in it and run a scar on the end of it, which that would be kind of neat to do. But I need to get myself a couple more of those so I can do some really neat mods like that. But this is the series. That's my kind of tips when you're looking for it, because now it's going to start to show up as secondhand or in clearance sections. Definitely the #1 blaster, Abraham's M16. My #2 pick would be Carl's revolver for those of you looking for performance. My personal next favorite would be Rick's shotgun, because I am a sucker for the Buzbe double breech. I don't care how they repaint it or reissue it. This thing, I love it, but I have a few of them. I'm not going to take that out of the box, because that's the one that I'm going to keep in mint condition. But this is Mongoose Jake with my overview and opinions on the Buzbe Walking Dead series blasters here, after having them now for quite a while, looking back on it. Hope you enjoyed this, and let me know what you think. If you found any of these thrifting, if you've picked them up, or what's your favorite from this series. And if you'd like to see Buzbe do another one of these licensed series, give some ideas. But because they do watch my videos, and you might actually never know where that could lead. But this is Mongoose Jake saying thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it.